May I now invite Prime Minister to deliver his remarks, please.
싱가포르 총리님 발언 있겠습니다.
Your Excellency, Yoon Suk Yeol, President of the Republic of Korea, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by extending once again a very warm welcome to President Yoon. This is his first visit to Singapore as President of the Republic of Korea. This is also our first meeting in person, but we've had a good interaction at the Seoul AI Virtual Summit and also a good chat over the phone in May this year when President Yoon called to congratulate me on my new appointment. We just had a fruitful discussion on ways to expand our cooperation both bilaterally and regionally. Singapore and Korea share a warm, substantive, and multifaceted relationship. Our two countries have many things in common. We were both Asian tigers that successfully transformed our economies. Korea, of course, has done this on a much bigger scale. You have one of the world's largest economies, powered by innovative chaebols, SMEs, and startups, as well as a trend-setting culture which has taken the world by storm. Having experienced such rapid transformation gives our two countries a deeper appreciation for what we have today. And because we have benefited greatly from regional peace and stability, we now seek to do our part to contribute towards the rule of law and strengthening the rules-based global order. Our bilateral cooperation is excellent. We have close trading ties and strong investment links. We see strong interest both ways. Investments from Korea to Singapore are growing. Likewise, investments from Singapore to Korea. And I understand that President Yoon will participate later this afternoon in a business forum. This will catalyze even more economic opportunities. We are also expanding our cooperation to new areas. We've just witnessed the signing of an extradition treaty and the exchange of 5 MOUs covering supply chains, LNG procurement, technological cooperation, food safety, and SMEs and startups. The strength of our relationship is also evident from our close people-to-people links. We see a growing flow of tourist exchanges, and the passenger arrivals have already exceeded that before COVID. And we see more people shuttling back and forth between Korean cities and Singapore for their studies and for work. Singaporeans, like people from all over the world, are big fans of Korean drama and K-pop. The Korean community in Singapore is also growing, and Korean cuisine has become an integral part of our multicultural food scene. So these people-to-people links are strong. In recognition of the growing depth and breadth of our partnership, I'm pleased to share that President Yoon and I have agreed to work towards upgrading our bilateral relations to a strategic partnership next year. This will also be a timely milestone for both our countries because 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of bilateral ties. The upgrade is not just a change in name, it also means more substantial cooperation, which we discussed during the meeting. For example, we are looking to upgrade the Korea-Singapore Free Trade Agreement to better meet the needs of our economies in today's digital age. We are hoping to expand our air services agreement to strengthen connectivity and to ride on the strong demand for air travel. Our agencies are also discussing ways to expand cooperation in areas like defense, education, climate change, AI and cybersecurity, as well as the digital and green economy. So I look forward to making substantial progress on all of these issues in the coming months, especially as we look forward to the upgrading of our bilateral relationship and the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties next year. We also discussed during our meeting Korea's relations with ASEAN, and this year marks the 30th anniversary of ASEAN ROK dialogue relations. We welcome Korea's commitment to ASEAN centrality as outlined in President Yoon's Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative. And we discussed areas to strengthen ASEAN-Korea relations, including through upgrading the ASEAN-Korea Free Trade Agreement and concluding an ASEAN-Korea Air Services Agreement. Singapore appreciates Korea's support for ASEAN's digital transformation through its ASEAN-Korea Digital Innovation Flagship Project, which will help to unlock new opportunities for the digital economy. We will continue to work closely to further enhance ASEAN-ROK relations, including at our discussions in Laos later this week. We also discussed the situation on the Korean Peninsula, and President Yoon updated me on recent developments as well as his initiatives on the Korean Peninsula. Singapore wants to see a peaceful and stable Korean Peninsula, and we will do what we can to facilitate efforts towards this end. That is why we had agreed to host the US DPRK Summit in 2018. Ultimately, peaceful reunification is for the Korean people to decide and determine, but we encourage continued constructive dialogue between the DPRK and ROK so as to promote peace, stability, and prosperity. In this dangerous, more volatile, and more troubled world, partnerships between like-minded countries are more important than before. I am confident that the bilateral cooperation between Korea and Singapore will continue to grow from strength to strength, and I look forward to working closely with President Yoon to take our bilateral ties to greater heights.
Thank you, Prime Minister. May I now invite His Excellency Yoon Suk Yeol to deliver his remarks, please.
윤석열 대통령님 발언 있겠습니다.
Prime Minister Wong and the people of Singapore, thank you for your warm hospitality. As we near the 50th anniversary of our diplomatic ties next year, I am delighted to make this state visit to Singapore, our key partner in ASEAN. This visit illustrates how this country, under Prime Minister Wong's outstanding leadership, is making energetic strides towards the future. I saw it with my own eyes. Singapore and Korea established diplomatic ties in 1975. Ever since, for half a century, they have been steadfastly advancing their friendly, cooperative relationship. Both our nations are endowed with limited resources, a disadvantage that they overcame by nurturing talent and establishing hubs for advanced technology and finance, thereby leaping forward to become global economic powers. Asia's progress and prosperity have been spearheaded by our two countries. Now, across AI, digitalization, green economy, and other future-oriented areas, we are fostering and positioning themselves as leading players. Today, Prime Minister Wong and I addressed ways to develop our two nations' friendship and partnership into even more forward-looking and mutually beneficial relations by having in-depth discussions. Firstly, with our 15th anniversary coming up in 2025, our two nations have agreed to begin preparing for the next 50 years by taking the first step next year, establishing a strategic comprehensive partnership. To this end, in key areas, we committed to further strengthen our strategic coordination. Notably, with future progress to be driven by AI and other cutting-edge technologies as well as startups, we are determined to deepen our cooperation in these areas. Today, we signed the MOU on technological cooperation and the MOU on SME and startup cooperation, which will serve as essential priming water in this regard. Additionally, extreme weather-induced food crisis, pandemics, and other global challenges will be jointly tackled as we plan to facilitate R&D partnerships. Secondly, Prime Minister Wong and I resolved to confront growing global economic instability by addressing supply chains for strategic goods and energy issues through closer cooperation. During this visit, our two nations will sign the arrangement on supply chain partnership And based on this, in bioenergy and cutting-edge industries supply chains, we promise to enhance partnership and respond to disruptions together. Korea, the world's third largest LNG importer, and Singapore, a global LNG trading hub, have concluded the MOU on LNG cooperation with a view to promoting stable global energy supply chains. Thirdly, Prime Minister Wong and I promised to invigorate people-to-people as well as physical exchanges by building stronger institutional foundations. Last year, our two nations saw the number of their mutual visitors exceed 900,000. Such vibrant exchanges between our two peoples was welcomed, and as to the 1972 Air Services Agreement, we decided to revise it by next year. Moreover, to cultivate talented human resources, we agreed on the need to work together and decided to explore ways to utilize AI and digital technologies in our collaborative education projects. Furthermore, the extradition treaty concluded this time will allow criminal fugitives abroad to be swiftly investigated, arrested, and transferred. In welcoming this, we decided to further reinforce our judicial cooperation. Lastly, Prime Minister Wong and I committed to addressing regional matters and global pending issues in close concert. We believe that the DPRK's illegal nuclear development and reckless provocations will never be tolerated by the international community. Sharing this view, during the upcoming ASEAN summits, we decided to ensure that the international community will issue a clear, united message to the DPRK based on our close coordination. Prime Minister Wong noted that this year marks the 35th anniversary of Korea-ASEAN dialogue relations. On its elevation to a comprehensive strategic partnership, he expressed his strong support. In this vein, our two leaders agreed to ensure a successful implementation of the Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative by vigorously working together. Koreans regard Singapore as a companion that has strived together toward the national development over the past half-century, also as a key partner with whom they will pioneer the future together again. Our discussions at today's summit will be faithfully put into action, and our 50th anniversary next year will be flawlessly prepared for celebration. We promised to do our utmost. Prime Minister Wong, the government, and the people of Singapore have shown us such gracious hospitality. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellencies. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the joint press conference.